sculpting. I've been getting really interested in digital sculpture lately. Sorry. I've been getting really interested in digital sculpture lately, and so I just wanted to spend some time just honing this skill. It's just something I've always wanted to get good at, and been slowly plugging along on it for a while. So I'm just gonna work on Yoda's head first. So these are gonna be his cheeks, this is gonna be his mouth, this will be his eyebrows. Hey, what's up? Did you have your first mentorship blender class? Yeah, it was very, very, very basic for the first one. So like super, super basic. Okay. Sculpt base mesh. Okay. Showed your Etsy page to all my coworkers today. One of them is ordering your new Star Trek painting for her dad. Nice. Yes, this is a very, very nice ball right now. It will become that thing, hopefully, soon. So we're just starting out super, super basic, and then as we add more, we can just add layers of resolution to the ball. My chair is very comfy. Yeah, we can just like slowly add layers of resolution to the ball until we have it up to like the super high detail. But this is just a good way to like keep the sculpture like making sense and keep it really optimized. So we're just kind of pushing and pulling this very primitive shape right now until it is like the shape that we're going for, and then we'll go in and add some more detail. But this is just a way to like keep it optimized and making sense for what we're trying to do. And every time we turn it, it goes back to this like level 1 layer. So it's only showing me the full resolution whenever it's like fully, or whenever it's sitting still. Ears. We're just trying to get the very basic block out shape. Just a very basic shape. This should be a very just chill kind of relaxing stream. Anybody watching on Instagram or TikTok, feel free to pop over to Twitch or YouTube if you wanna say something to me, because I can't really see my TikTok and Instagram chat right now, the way I have this set up. Just trying to get used to like the user interface of everything. Okay. Bump that up. It's already kind of looking Yoda shaped. Almost. Not quite. He'll get there though. This is actually a painting that I've wanted to do for a really long time, but never gotten around to it. It's just a nice like Yoda meditating piece. I know something funny and kind of disappointing. This piece right here, I straight up plagiarized once. One day you should do Jeff. I have done Jeff. I sculpted Jeff once. He's on a different computer, but yeah, I straight up plagiarized this painting once, and I feel really bad about it, but I didn't really know any better. This was way back in the day when I didn't understand how paintings worked and how using other people's paintings as references was a bad thing. I was just a kid, but practically I was like 20. I'm 29 now. But yeah, I straight up copied this one. And then I found out it's by an artist named Jerry Vanderstilt, and I've actually gotten to talk to the guy a couple times now, and I just feel so bad, and I will never tell him that I plagiarized his painting once. As a child. I copied it, and then I put it in an art gallery, and then it sold. So someone out there has a very stolen painting. And I have no idea who it was at this point, because they bought it so long ago. But yeah. Straight up plagiarized. I'm very new to sculpting, by the way, so it's just kind of something I'm trying to learn as I go. his eyes, and his eyes are going to be closed. So we're just going to try and get these looking kind of like closed eyes. Our art platform is using AI tools to verify now. We're planning to. What do you mean, AI tools to verify? Like to know if it's like a plagiarized piece of artwork or what? I'm not sure what you're talking about. Oh, to see if it's plagiarized. I don't think anyone cares enough to make that happen at this point. Like, plagiarism isn't exactly the forefront of a social media platform's priorities. And yeah, it would take a very large group of very angry people for that to happen. Just saw the sign you made for your Instagram stream. Oh, yeah. Yep. I had to write it backwards because the phones use a front-facing camera, and so if I write it forwards, then it shows up as backwards, and so I had to go back through and rewrite it. It was funny. The sign going on the Etsy store? Oh, definitely not. Most definitely not. It'd be funny though. Let's start to use some build up. Your favorite book character, movie, or TV show character? You know, I gotta say, I got to say Samwise Gamgee. He's just such a bro. Like Samwise Gamgee is just the best there ever was. No one's ever been a better friend than Samwise Gamgee. from Lord of the Rings. Alright. Spotify's trying to crap out on me again. There you go. Also, I've been getting a little bit better at my digital art skills, as in like Photoshop painting. That little sketch, I just did that in like 20 minutes in Photoshop. Just by building up some layers and painting it. Oh, that was pretty cool. Yeah, we're getting to nitty gritty. Now we've got our block in, we can actually just start painting. Or not painting, I guess. I'm so used to saying painting. Can get to sculpting. This is the fun part. Just like that, there's a Yoda. It's the language that Blender uses when you're using what's called the brush chisels. Yeah, it's a brush. Oops. But in terms of language, I believe it's run off of Python scripts, but I don't know anything about that. Yeah, this is sculpting. Learning how to sculpt in Blender currently, and it looks great. I was wondering if you had any tips for sculpting mouths and lips. Look at your references a lot. That's like the biggest thing. So be sure and have some good references, because without references it'll look kind of goofy because you need to know what to do to make something look like a mouth and a lip. So I'll just work on mine for a minute and you can kind of watch, but yeah, I'm just getting there too. I'm just learning as well. So I've only been at it for a couple of months. We'll get there. It's all about shapes. If you can get the shape right, then you've sculpted a mouth and a lip. But to make this crease, you can use the crease brush. And then you can use the clay buildup around it to build up the volume that you need. So for Yoda, for example, his nose is too high. Or his nose is too low, actually. He's got a really big upper lip. And then he's got a little chin that kind of juts out. And I'm kind of using my sketch as a reference for this one. And I made this sketch just based off of other people's sketches. So it's a lot of just looking at reference, looking at what other people have done well, figuring out how they did it well, and what you need to do to make yours look like that. Yeah, it's a lot of fun to watch people sculpt. I enjoy watching people sculpt a lot. Speed Chair Live is one of the YouTube channels that I've watched a lot. He's really good. I think that's his name. I know it's Speed Chair something. Trying to make it look like his eyes are closed. He's got eyelids that are kind of squinting as he's meditating, deeply connected with the Force. So you can turn it off and on to one side. Yeah, so this button right here is symmetry. That chat box is probably kind of annoying. Not being able to see. I want to have the chat box visible, but it's probably kind of annoying to not be able to see what people are saying. Like that. How come it's turning into a diamond shape like that? So something to do with the modifiers you have on? Yeah, so when you're sculpting in Blender, what you want is a multi-res modifier. That's this thing right here. So you add a multi-res modifier, and I started with a cube. So I just started with the default cube. So, so turn down to 1. This is what it looks like. And this is actually what I'm still sculpting on. So you add your cube, and then you add a multi-resolution modifier, and then you hit subdivide like 8 times. So you do your block in very low, and then as you get to more detail, you turn this sculpt one up, and you can add more detail. And so like if I needed to make some like really big changes, I could go back to this position and say I wanted the ears to look a little different. I'm on the wrong brush. You can go back and take these ears and move them, and then when you go up to your high level sculpt, they'll be moved. I don't actually want to do that, but but yeah, as you sculpt, you add more levels of resolution, so it's just subdividing every time. Subdividing every time you hit this button, all the way up to 8, which this is going to be like super high res. Like I'll be able to sit here, and once I'm to this point that I want to work with 8, I can get in here with like tiny little details. I can sculpt like actual texture on here, and it's going to lag out your computer a lot, but when you turn it, it goes back to that level 1. So this is just treating your computer a lot better, because every time you turn it, it's having to render all of those frames. But when you use this multi-resolution modifier workflow, it bumps it back down to that 1 when you turn it, so that it is only rendering a 1 subdivision, which is like 4 faces. And so it's just treating your computer nice. And so this is just a really like optimized way of sculpting that you don't have to worry about lagging your computer out, which at really high levels you're going to lag your computer out. So it's just good to have this workflow set up to, just have that workflow set up to treat yourself nicer, treat your computer nicer. Yeah, that's something my buddy Ryan taught me. I guess that's how the pros sculpt in Blender. And at this point, it's pretty much working like more optimized than ZBrush, because ZBrush is like the industry standard on sculpting, right? But if you get this Blender setup working really well, you don't need ZBrush. You don't need to pay $40 a month or whatever. You can just use the app that we already have that's free and just sculpt straight through Blender. No need to worry about the expensive subscriptions and all that. Smooth some of those out. They were looking a little crazy. Trying to get to the point where I can use this crease brush and it actually looks good. Because the eyes are still looking a little bit wonky. There's a Yoda nose. Looks more like a Yoda nose. Those are so hard to sculpt for me. Yeah, they're definitely not easy. I say eyes are probably the hardest thing to sculpt. Especially if you're not super used to the anatomy of the eye. But I have a lot of art, art experience, as you can see by my slideshow. So I've been a traditional painter for forever, but I'm dipping my toes into 3D just to try and build up a new skill. Didn't realize that slide shows your art. Yeah, that's me. That's all my traditional paintings. I'm a full-time traditional painter. So I spent a lot of time just working on my painting skills, and now I'm trying to learn something new. I'll smooth those out. Let's bump this up and actually start sculpting in some details. Let's see if we can get these eyes to look right now. Kind of looks like he's sitting there with his eyes closed. I think we just need more layers of eyelids because he's got very wrinkly eyes. I was using the wrong crease tool. Kind of smooth those out. I didn't realize there was a crease sharp. Alternate stream title, Yoda gets creased. Yes, it's perfect. Looks super weird right now. He doesn't look like Yoda at all. Give him a little bit of a lower lip. That already looks better. Should do that on Roblox games. Might get more paid later on. Oh no. Oh no. Is there a way to move these tools? Toolbar. I want to see if I can like move these toolbars down to the bottom. Because I hate having to go all the way up here. And then... It's the sidebar, don't need that. Yeah, might have to look into that later because I hate having this button up here. It's a good point though. Are you planning on doing 3D work for your paintings or keeping it separate? No, so I actually use the 3D as references for my paintings. So I've actually already done that several times where I sculpt something and then I use it as a reference. So I wonder if I can... I don't have very many projects on here. Yoda. So let me just pull up a picture real quick on my Instagram. I'll show you what I'm talking about. So here's a painting that I did. This little choral from Oblivion, coral, whatever. Watch this. So this is something I made in Blender. So there's like maps under here. So I just went on these maps and I traced these outlines of where these buildings were using vertices. And then I just extruded them up and then gave them little roofs, and I imported just a random tree asset that I found online. And then set up a lighting system so that when I do this, now I have shadows and highlights. And then when I add some more crazy stuff to it, I have actual shadows, highlights, and textures that I can use for the painting. So then I can just take this, trace it onto a canvas using the outlines of my Blender render, and paint this. Leanne said, I'm just going to enjoy my noodles and watch the magic. I don't know much about tech, but I love your projects. I've said before, you and your family inspiring. I love to learn. Fair play. Thank you, Leanne. I tried modeling with Skyrim and found it tricky. Definitely a beginner. Yeah, it's not easy. I've been doing this for like 6 months now, and this is still pretty fancy for what I am able to do. Like, this is about the extent of like building a city that I can do at this point. But I'll show you my best project. Oh, I did a TARDIS too. The guy ever messaged back about the football player one? No. Nope, never heard back from him. Alright, so I modeled this. This is my TARDIS. Very rudimentary model. It's just a cube, extruded, subdivided, faces put in, inset faces for the windows. I did give it some colors and textures. Is it gonna load? There it is. Did give it some colors and textures. The background is just assets that I've just dragged in. Is it bigger on the inside? Absolutely. And all the trees and stuff is just assets that I just imported in. You can just drag and drop them from kit bashing pretty much. But then I turn that into this. So again, 3D can be a very, very powerful tool when you want to have references for your paintings. Wouldn't be the TARDIS if it wasn't. Exactly. Yeah, so using a 3D model, you can set up your scene, even if the lighting isn't like exactly how you want it, you can at least get an idea. So I have like my shadows, I have my highlights, I have trees, I have bushes. I picked the angle that I wanted it at, I picked like the view, and then turned it into that. So, drawings, it's so smart. Dude, it's incredibly smart. It's great. I am so glad that I've taken the time to learn it. So, yeah. But now, oh, I was going to show you my Xeno. The best one I've ever done. This is my only sculpture I've done like start to finish, and I actually called in help for this one from a professional, and so he helped me a lot. But my hand did all of this one that's taking forever to load. But just watch, it's gonna be amazing. Your minds will be blown. Your minds will be blown. If it opens, dang. Why is it taking so long to open? Come on. I thought that it would open. It's just... the graffiti and pop art, portraits of nature, terrible for me. Sucks with I love nature. Well, see, if you're good at one thing, I believe that you can get good at another thing. And that's something I'll always encourage other artists on, is that if you're good at one thing, I think you can get good at another thing because you've taken the time to learn how to get good at something. You've taken the time to figure out what it takes to yes, and stop. You've taken the time to learn how to get good at something. So I think if you've taken the time to learn something, then you can learn other things. Let's see if it'll load from a blank state. And so that's why, like, I took the last 13 or 14 years learning how to get really good at art, at painting. That slideshow you're seeing, that's the artwork that I've gotten good at. Why is this not loading? This is making me sad. You know what? I don't need this. I don't have to show you the actual blend file. I'll just pull it up on Instagram. Oh, here's another one that I used for, I used a sculpture for the reference for this one. So I sculpted it in Nomad Sculpt just on the iPad and then used this as the reference. Okay, here's my xenomorph. Like, I don't need to pull up the actual render. I don't need that. I can just show you guys this. Yeah, super proud of this. It actually, did it not post a finished one? Guess not. They made this. This is a traditional sculpture. Well, that was pretty cool. Actually gonna finish glazing this on Sunday. So still waiting for that, but you go on vacation yet with your birthday donation? Nope. Can't hear or see anything. Is the stream working for other people that's watching? Yeah, I blame the noodles. Oh, this is one that I used a Blender render to paint. This is one of my first like really big fancy projects. This one right here. Wonder if I have the process on here anywhere for that one. That was a crazy one. Yeah, so here's the process for that one. So I did an iPad sketch, just a digital sketch, and then I used Nomad Sculpt and sculpted Shelob. So this is same thing I'm doing with Yoda, just on the, this was on the iPad, whereas now I'm using Blender. You're done with the solo. That's awesome, Jack. Hey, Federico. Sorry I'm not seeing y'all's messages. If you want me to see the messages, pop on over to Twitch and YouTube. Because I'm not really checking my Instagram and TikTok streams all that much. Oh, that Xeno one is another one I did as a Blender and then that. So here's another cool one. I used Blender, and that was the Blender render, and then I painted it. So super cool things you can do by learning Blender. And then, oh, here's the start of that Xeno. This was like the block-in stage. How does that experience compare to Blender? It's just a very like simplified, dumbed down version. Very, very simplified. Here's another sculpture I did. This was also on the iPad. So everything on the iPad, like the UI and everything, is just very simplified on Nomad Sculpt, whereas Blender has like 1,000 different things you can do in here. Oh, my window's over here. Yeah, Blender has like 1,000 different things you can do with you can add all these modifiers, and you can add all these different like window views, and you can, yeah, you have all these layers. Like, there's just a lot of stuff that you can do in Blender that you can't do in Nomad Sculpt. But Nomad Sculpt is a very good like beginner intro level to 3D. And so I do recommend that people practice with it, just because it does help a lot. Yeah, this is the kind of nice workflow that you can do in Blender, is you can just like use the clay strips build up and then just smooth them out by holding shift. This way you can like build up clay and then smooth it out. It's a really nice workflow. You actually need to go back a lot. Oops. Keep forgetting to change this from adding to subtracting. Does his face look fat? What about his face is looking so fat? So these are some references of Yoda. Yoda. My Yoda, yeah, Yoda. Yoda. I think I'll go off of this one for a little bit. I've just got like a bunch of references pulled up of different Yodas and what they look like. Ooh, this one's good too. This is kind of what I'm going for here. This is just other people's artwork. And absolutely, you can use other people's artwork as inspiration. Yoda. Strong with the force you are. Sculpt Yoda better, you must. Which one did I say I was going to go off of? This one's pretty good. I'm going to keep this one pulled up for a little bit too, because that's just really nice. You can just tell. Yes. Okay, so let's kind of put him at that angle, and then we can start to kind of figure out what we're doing wrong here. Eyes be bigger, they must. Too sunken in they are. Chin too fat. Let's just start dragging his neck out a little bit. Oops. And we'll put his neck in his robe once we get that, but we haven't gotten that far yet. Like we'll just kind of place his neck in there. Looking much better it is. Enjoy Thursday night, I'll stick around, but I'm pooped. Made mine a game with on PS5 does 3D work like this. It's good to watch. Nice. Well, thank you for popping in and chatting for a little bit. Much appreciated. Keeping me company. These sculpting streams can get very lonely. Because I'm sure most of you guys are aware, I mostly do art in the painting capacity. So whenever I sculpt, I usually get very, very few viewers. So I appreciate everyone here for hanging out during a sculpting stream, because these streams are generally quite lonely. I generally like it, but it could be because I'm like, hey, I appreciate the honesty. That's awesome. Always want to learn though. That's honest too. Stick around because you're awesome. Thank you. I appreciate that. Really does mean a lot. Makes me very happy when people enjoy my artwork. See you around. Have a good night. You too. Can you believe Yoda would have been a monkey if they hadn't have changed that? Like, how crazy would that have been if Yoda was played by a monkey? A trained monkey. How wild would that have been? That almost happened. Like, that's a real thing. Yoda was almost played by a trained monkey. Like, that would have been actually crazy. Downloaded Blender, just briefly looked at it. Dude, it's so good. Like, it's such a good program. Highly, highly recommend taking the time to learn how to use it. There are tons of amazing YouTube videos on how to navigate it and how how to learn it effectively, and yeah, it's so worth it. Not sure it's something I want to take on yet. Yeah, get good at painting first. Get your painting skills down, and then start learning Blender. I think this is one of the things that's helped me to become the artist that I am today, is by learning this program. Like, sculpting is just so much fun. Like, look at this. I did this in an hour. Like, I learned how to do this. I didn't learn how to do this in an hour, but I did this sculpture in an hour after only learning how to work this program for the last like few months. It's just such crazy stuff you can do in here. Okay, let's hardness. Oh, strength, that's what I need. Turn the strength down. There we go. I don't want to overwhelm yourself. Yeah, that's fair. No need to. No need to. This is what I'm taking my mentorship on, though. Taking that class on this program, so I can get really good at it. I want to impress all my classmates. I did the first day of it yesterday or day before. I can't remember. But it looks like I might be the most experienced Blender user in there, save like one dude. There's like one other dude that looks like he knows what he's doing, or says that he knows what he's doing. But I think I might be one of the more experienced Blender users, which is kind of cool. But if you were to put an estimate on the total hours you put into Blender to get where you are now, what's your best guess? Between Blender and Nomad Sculpt, hundreds. Hundreds of hours. But I haven't timed myself, but at least a couple hundred hours. Because I've also been learning Nomad Sculpt, and so that definitely plays a part in the skills that I have now, is by getting good at Nomad Sculpt as well. So, what does the back of Yoda's head look like? I have no idea. I know he has a lot of hair. We'll just pretend like it wraps around like this. He's got like wispy hair. I'm just making crap up at this point. I was afraid you'd say that. Yeah, I mean, any skill is going to take a lot of work. But, like, I already have sculpting experience from traditional sculpture. And then I already have some 3D experience from the iPad app, Nomad Sculpt. I was like, what am I blanking on so hard right now? Nomad Sculpt. I've already been playing with that for a while, and so Blender was like the natural progression of things, where a lot of people would go to ZBrush, which is another really big sculpting app, but it's like $40 a month, and I ain't about that. worry about paying no $40 a month when I can do pretty much the same stuff right here in a free open source program. Gonna try and get really good at painting first and maybe take something like this on. Yeah, I think that's a good idea. I was telling another friend the same thing, buddy Eric, because he's been derping around in ZBrush and trying to figure it out. And he was like, all right, because he's also learning traditional painting. And so he was like, all right, I want to learn ZBrush, but I really want to get good at traditional painting. And I was like, yep. It's going to be hard to do both right now, but it's definitely possible. It's just going to be hard. So he's like, yeah, I'm just going to focus on getting good at traditional painting. I'm like, that is a good idea. Starting to look very Yoda-esque. Definitely starting to look like him. Now it looks like my dentist dressed as Yoda, but trust the process. Your dentist. I don't want to meet your dentist. I will pass on that. He's terrifying. This is super chill, by the way. I really hope people, and as when I say people, I hope my audience starts to warm up to these sculpting streams, because I'm just absolutely vibing right now. I would love to do this more often. It's like I don't have to set up a canvas, and I don't have to worry about like crazy lighting. All I gotta do is screen capture, have my mic right here, just going. And did I mute my mic? Hello. Okay, it's working. No, this is just so chill. Like, I would absolutely love if my audience started to kind of warm up to my 3D stuff. 'Cause I'm just vibing right now. Be so chill to just do just like, oh, I want to do a stream today. Cool. Don't feel like getting the easel out. Cool. Let's just freaking sculpt. Let's just go for it. Smooth that out. Trying to get these wrinkles kind of blocked in. I need quad remesher so bad. Because the ears are all jacked up right now. And if I can just like just duplicate it, try some stuff. Okay, so this is the old one. This is the new one. Disabled. Okay, because there's a modifier. So if I just... Oh. I can't. Oh, I wish I knew. I wish I remembered how Ryan did that thing. I wish I remembered how Ryan did that thing. Brings appreciation to animation to a whole new level, for sure. Yeah, those guys are absolutely bonkers. Bonkers, I tell ya. They're crazy. Alright, let's just go for it. Pizza or Mexican food, which do you choose? Oh, depends on my mood. I love both so much. I did choose pizza just yesterday. I have to go with... Again, it depends on my mood, but I might just have to go with pizza, because that is the most recent thing I ate. Which means if given another choice, I might choose pizza again. You have a favorite restaurant you like to visit on your contours? I like to go to local places. That's one thing that me and my buddy Layton have been trying to do more often, is go to local places and like try out like places that local people recommend to us. Also, Artist Wants to Battle, how's it going? Yes, we are doing another sculpture. We finished our xenomorph, so now we're doing a Yoda. And he is definitely getting there. Destabilize stroke. I do enjoy some good pizza. Okay, if I just turn the strength down. There we go. Doing pretty well, getting to pet some farm animals for a few days. Nice. Pets at some farm animals. Sounds fun. Sounds like a good time. Trying to get these to look a bit more realistic. Potbelly pig is a brat. Oh, I've heard all kinds of stories about those guys. I've heard they are pretty much like dogs. Using the pinch tool. She'll come up to me and let me pet her and then try to bite me. That was not fun. I'd be slapping a pig. A vacation came to yourself. Better late than never. Exactly. Welcome back. Glad you're here. We're doing some sculpting today. Because why not? That little sketch over here is what I'm gonna try and make, but in 3D. So I did that sketch just really quickly, like maybe 10, 20 minutes in Photoshop. And then we're just kind of going for it. What an ungrateful pig, right? Getting some free pets and then just bites. Crazy. Struggling so hard with these eyelids right now. It looks like he's trying really hard to read a restaurant menu. Yeah, he's like, what's it say? Say what does it? Just a hot dog I want. Want to order a hot dog I do. See menu cannot. The voice. Hey, you asked for it. Bringing up Yoda reading a menu that brought it on. And you knew it. That brought it on and you knew it. Oh, let's play with some matte caps. Let's change it to more more Yoda matte cap. No, that looks silly. I do want it to be like something like this though. And then I want there to be more cavity. And I want let's outline. And it looks so much better already. I've been hearing your Yoda voice from the other room and let out a loud chuckle. Nice. That's funny. I mean, that almost looks like a Yoda head though, right? It's getting there. Let's get back to sculpting. There we go, that's what we were missing. The head was the wrong shape. Wrong shape the head was. Needs to be bigger on the back, it does. Okay, let's sculpt his neck a little bit too. Old saggy Yoda. Young squinty Yoda. Red Yoda. Yes, just changed up the material so we could see what we're working with a little better. I think I've had that squinty-eyed one show up as a sleep paralysis demon once. Yes. And remember, guys, I'm just a beginner at this, so go easy on me. I know he looks like a freak right now, but we're getting there. He's supposed to be meditating. This is kind of what we're going for. I like this vibes. Just not getting the eyes quite right. This is kind of what we're going to be going for in our painting. Kind of between this and this and this. And I think this is probably the coolest one. This is the one I was probably looking at the most when I made my sketch. Just when you're morphing it. Yeah. Let's see, I think in that reference his neck is a little skinnier. Now he looks like he has a mustache. Was his chin too big? Was that the problem? That looks way better. Let's see if it'll subdivide another time. Yeah, it's gonna really lag out the computer. So I'm working with like millions of polygons at that point. You did an awesome job with the texture so far. Thank you. Getting there. Something about his head shape is still just not quite right. I think it looks too human, maybe? It's almost looking better. It looks like Yoda. Alright, let's move on for a little bit. This is our Yoda head. Let's give him a Yoda body. There we go. Finished. Let's pop this into rendered view and call it done. Space between his lips and nose. You think it's too big or too small? Like what you did to the square body there? I know, right? Looks amazing. Just wait till you see it in rendered view. Ready for this? Beautiful. Beautiful. I guess my TikTok stream ended due to inactivity. Wow. I'll just restart that. Look how beautiful that is. Okay, that's a joke, by the way. That's a joke. Look at that. Gorgeous. Okay, but no, we're not actually going to use a body. Looks film accurate, exactly. Okay, now we will actually make a body though. Print out and put it next to David, exactly. Alright, now let's just here at a multi-res. Let's beep 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 beep. Okay. Let's go to sculpting. Let's bump this way down. All right. Okay, never actually done this before, so this will be interesting. Oops, need to give it symmetry. arms and legs would be the best way to do this. Probably just to add individual things. Do the same thing, but just position them. More interesting way. Maybe make the arms and then, or make like, yeah, just 2 blobs for some arms. Okay, let's just do some organization here. Head. This is body. This is arm. We'll make this the right arm. Then we'll add a multi-resolution modifier to this one. There we go. Okay, and then let's just duplicate, Control Shift duplicate. What was it? There was a way to duplicate an object with keeping it stiff. All right. Left arm. And we'll do the same for the legs. I want them to be kind of like crisscross, like sitting crisscross. Right leg. And we're gonna have to sculpt these individually. Left leg. Alright, now we'll just go back into sculpting. In sculpt mode. Isn't he beautiful? Isn't he just amazing? Just so cool looking. Looks like a very, very derpy dude. Okay, Alt Q. He looks amazing, guys. How am I using? I don't need to do that. Let's put all these back down to that. That. And that. I'm telling people you're super talented artists, but I hope they're watching this exact moment. Oh yeah. They will be amazed at how just grossly talented I am. Like, insanely talented. You love him just like that? Alright. Well, if you love him just like that, then we'll just line up our camera. Toss it in rendered view. There he is. Beautifully, perfectly rendered, perfectly sculpted Yoda. He's perfect. Just like that. Trust the process, guys. Trust the process. Golly. Let's look up some different poses. It's the best thing you've ever seen in your life, isn't it? It's great and it could totally be done now, just in case. Let's keep going. Yeah. We'll keep going. Even though you guys are saying that it's the best thing you've ever seen in your life. But I agree. I think it's the most amazing thing anyone's ever made. Possibly in the whole history of the whole universe. History of forever. Absolute perfection, exactly. It's never been anything better. I want this to be kind of like fabric draping down. We'll need to give him individual hands too. Maybe even another universe. In fact, most likely only another universe. Dang. Out here roasting me. Spitting absolute roasts over here. Where do you even go from here? You've already peaked. I know. That's what I'm saying. This is pretty much the best thing anyone's ever seen in their whole life. Let's work on this foot a little bit. Again, I want him to be kind of sitting crisscross. I want this mesh to kind of look like fabric that's draping down. What happened? Ended up on another brush. Crying, and only 99% of it is because I'm laughing. Thank you for the gifts on TikTok. Appreciate you. Sorry if I'm not reading TikTok or Instagram chat. It's because the phones are behind me, so this is just kind of a way to get you guys over to my Twitch. So I'm trying to plug my Twitch and YouTube. So if you would like me to respond to comments, pop on over to Twitch or YouTube and I will see them. Didn't get to stay long this time. Hope you have a great rest of your night. Thank you for hanging out through my goofy antics. I know that's what you guys are here for though, isn't it? Because I'm just such a comedian. I mean, it's so fun to see incorporating 3D into your workflow. Yeah. What's up, Nicholas? Glad you made it. Glad you joined. Yep, we're just sculpting away. There's our meditating Yoda. Now we're kind of starting to work on his body. Slowly but surely. I want this to kind of look like fabric by the time I'm done. Look like he's got his little robe wrapped around him. And then his feet will be coming out from here. I'm just kind of figuring out how this is all gonna work. Body like a battle axe. Yes. Trying to figure out if I should just be sculpting what the fabric will look like, or if I should be worrying about where the hands and feet are gonna go. Hey, viewbot spammers here. Let's go. Loyal viewbot spammer, always in here, ready to give my stream some interaction. Always happy to see viewbot spammer. Gave him a credit card. Exactly. Always got to give the viewbot spammer your credit card. Always. It's a rule at this point. Current mode of source object is body is not compatible with target. Oh, didn't understand that. Me and interlocking bootlegger are going to be on a podcast with Micro. Nice. Excited for your opportunities. Very exciting days. Big things coming. Always big things. Big opportunities. Don't have any art to show, so I'm just gonna steal yours. Okay, yeah, sounds good. So I'm gonna get actually scammed someday, is I'm gonna be joking with someone, and then they're gonna be like, "But you gave verbal consent." I'm gonna be like, "Huh?" I'm gonna be like, "Yep, you gave verbal consent, so they rightfully own your stuff now." Thought that was flattened. There we go. This is where a hand is gonna come from. Clip this legally binding. See? That's how I'm gonna get in trouble. I'm getting in a big doo-doo. Me and Shannon watched Phantom Menace last night. It was great. She's seen it before, but she's never like paid attention to it, I guess. So it was fun. It's Phantom Menace. I know Jar Jar is like taboo but I actually really enjoy Phantom Menace. I think it's great. I just love the dual fates. Darth Maul is just the best Sith Lord ever. Sith Apprentice. He's great. Just trying to make this look like fabric is draping. Next part is going to be sculpting the hands and feet. That's going to be interesting. It's just like 3 toes, 3 clawed toes. So I might be able to just make one and then duplicate it across. How anatomically correct are you gonna make him? Yeah, enough. Just enough to look like him. But all of this is gonna be covered up by his clothes, so I'm not gonna be sculpting any booties or anything today if that was what you were getting excited about. Guess I'll stick around anyway. Yoda cake. I could just boolean these objects together. Sculpt them as one object now that I've got the base layout done. Could be kind of fun. join those, or would I? How would I do that? Let's hit that. So I'd select this boolean, and I want it to be union. Let's be this one. Difference, intersect, union. It's creating all kinds of weird stuff. What is difference and what's combine meshes in a subtractive way? I think that's what I want. That didn't work. So now these just have a boolean on them. Because I want to like combine them into one. How do I do it? Union, combine meshes in an additive way to the body. That doesn't work. Difference. Intersect. That just gets rid of it. Well, they sculpt as one object now, just by joining the meshes. But I want them to actually become one. How do I do that? Can I not do it on a multi-resolution? Cannot be moved above an object. Is there a marriage button? There is a join button, which is what I did here. Join this one to this one and join. And now they're one object. But now the boolean won't work. Might need a priest. That might be the issue. Amputeers feel fix him. Join button seems handy. Yeah, that'd probably work. Yoda. Yep, we are sculpting Yoda today. If you'd like me to be able to see your chats, be sure to pop on over to here, because my phone is behind me right now, so I'm not going to see the Instagram or TikTok chats. If you'd like to say stuff and for me to see it, feel free to pop on over to Twitch or YouTube. can boolean two meshes together even if one is multi-res modifier applied. Simply add the boolean modifier to the mesh with the multi-res modifier and set the other mesh as the target for the boolean. That's what I did. Apply the multi-res modifier first. For optimal results, it's usually best to apply the multi-resolution modifier before adding the boolean modifier. This ensures the high resolution details are properly considered. Adding the boolean modifier, make sure to select the mesh with the multi-res modifier as the active object and select the other mesh as the target. What if they both have multi-res? The mesh with multi-res modifier has a very complex topology. The boolean operation might result in unexpected artifacts or glitching due to the increased number of vertices and faces. Interesting. So let's just set both of these to 1. So they're set. Or do I have to set them high? Set them both to like 4 so that I have the information that I need. Because 4 is going to be just about good enough for what I need to do, and then I could set the whole thing as a multi-resolution modifier because I want this whole thing to just be one mesh. Okay, so let's just take this, we'll apply and apply here. No, this boolean object body object is body union intersect difference. I'm still not sure which one to do. I think this one. Apply. There's one that like actually combines them together. That is going way too fast.
Few tools are as useful to a 3D modeler as the Boolean modifier. To pull up the Boolean modifier, go to your modifier properties, add the modifier Boolean. The first thing you need to do is select your target mesh. Usually you want your meshes overlapping. You have three choices. The first one is difference. By default, this is what will happen. When you select difference, you are subtracting your two meshes from
Okay,
each
so
other.
that's not the one I want.
When you utilize the union, you are joining those two meshes together. When you're utilizing intersect, you are creating the sum of those two objects put together. You are creating a new mesh based on where they are intersecting. And don't forget, as in intersect, the union, you are joining those two meshes together.
So I want union. So sculpt boolean union body apply. Now it's got all this weird glitching going on. Between a body and a tongue. Oh, it's because it made a new object. So this is just now, the right arm is now the whole thing. Interesting, but are these actually like joined together to where I could smooth them out? This is the fun part of the show where Aaron struggles to learn stuff for a long time. Hey, I did it! That's what I wanted to happen. Now it's one thing. Ah, I'm a genius. I am a genius. Alright, now we can do that for the rest. So grab this one. And we apply the multi-res. Then we Boolean. And we select union and arm. And we apply it. That's what I was trying to tell you the whole time. I know. Left arm. Okay. Perfect. Now from this one. The Chan you watched was a priest. See? You knew all along. You knew the whole time. Okay, so we do this. And then we add a boolean, and we go union, and we select object, and you go the leg. And then we apply. And then the right leg goes away. And then select this one, and we add a modifier, boolean, select object, union, object, left leg, apply. Left leg. Now we have one object. Boom. One object as our robe. And then let's go ahead and smooth these out. And then we'll add a multi-resolution modifier to this. So this is just going to make it, so these are one mesh. That can stay like that. Now let's see if we can add a multi-res modifier. Multi-resolution. So now we can just go beep, 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 beep. And it's gonna start getting really heavy at that point. But we're gonna sculpt here. And now we have the low resolution sculpt, and we can make it higher and higher. Higher and higher. I've tried Ultra Paint it all, saw Disney price arts grading, has good reviews. Ultra. Ultra. Oh, I have caps on. Paint. It's a brand of paint supplies. Very cheap. Very, very cheap. So the burnt sienna is $4 for a... Oh, it's because it's only 1.25 ounce. Interesting. See, I just like Winsor & Newton the most. You guys spelled it right. Yeah, you got it. No, I've never heard of this. But, yeah, it's pretty cheap for 6... What are my tubes? I can't reach. I don't know what my Winsor & Newton ones are. But, yeah, I mean, $4 for a tube of oil paint, that's super cheap. And it's not, like, these 1.25 ounces is not going to be much. I have some acrylic paint sitting next to me. Here. So this one is a 3-ounce tube. So a 3-ounce They only have one. Okay. Yeah, they only have a 1.25 and a 6.75. So 1.25, that can't be that small. If this is only 3.38. That might, I mean, yeah, that's super cheap. Because, like, usually one of these is like 20 bucks, 25 bucks from Winsor & Newton. Huh, interesting. Interesting. I mean, hey, if it works. It's Windsor's. No, this was just a master's touch. This is an acrylic paint. This one's just like a thick body acrylic paint. I just picked up some of this at Hobby Lobby today because I needed some. I'm gonna try out this Liquin Fine Detail. It's a little bottle of Liquin, which I've been using Liquin Original for a long time, but it's like a thicker, like, gel medium, whereas that Liquin Fine Detail is more like that linseed oil stuff. And I got some unbleached titanium white as well. But those are just some acrylics, just for my acrylic stuff. If anybody's watching on TikTok or Instagram, be sure and come over to Twitch or YouTube so I can see your messages. Alright, now that we have this, we can sculpt it a bit more, I guess. There's not going to be any more symmetry. So any details that we add is going to be all just stuff that we've added. Manually. My strength is very low, just like real life. No strength. Try and add some like folds in the fabric. Want this subdivision up. Would anyone be interested? I know I don't have that many people watching right now, but would anyone be interested in 3D printing some of my sculptures? 'Cause if you would be, I bet I could make that happen. I'll put the files on Patreon. Probably the first several. I'll just put them on there for free. Just to get a few people to try them out. I think Shannon's home. It might mean it's about time for me to get off. There's the puppy. He's been waiting for you all night. I'm streaming.
Yeah.
Look at my Yoda.
Cool.
I made that from scratch.
I see that.
Literally started out as a cube.
Cube.
It was a cube, and now it's this.
Yoba. Yoba the cube.
Yoba.
Yoba.
Good old Yoba.
Yeah.
Yoba the cube.
Is he trying? Does he want a snowbird? Does he want?
I think he's just excited to see you.
He's excited. He also knows that it's time for snuggles.
Yes.
Hey.
Glad Shannon missed the blob body phase. Oh yes, it was beautiful. Absolutely. It looked amazing. It looked so good.
Oh yeah, okay.
And chat was saying, like,
That it
it's done.
looked a certain way.
Oh, it's just done. Just your sculpture's done, ready to be 3D printed, and it's good to go.
Stop licking my clothes.
Linus is not happy.
Because he saw me and he wanted me to feed him. Also, you have a ton of packages outside.
Ooh. Like easy canvas?
Yeah.
Nice.
They've been out there all day.
Ooh.
I don't know why you never saw them.
I don't know how I didn't either, because I've gone outside several times today. Must have arrived when
Loose puppy. Keep loose.
being very cute.
Your chin snuggle.
You see, he's snuggling you. Very cute puppy.
How long you plan on staying up?
I was just waiting till you got home, so I'm good to end it now.
I'm due for a couple more minutes. I will snuggle Franklin.
I'm so proud of this. Like, I made that. I made that with my own hands.
Where's his hands?
I haven't made them yet. He doesn't have hands. I want to make the robe started out as like 5 different objects, so just a blob here, here, and that was when it looked absolutely crazy, and that was when everyone was joking, and then I just kind of like morphed the spheres to look like the general shapes I was going for, and then I combined all the spheres together into this one mesh, and so now I have all the geometry info that I need on the one, but I can actually go in and sculpt it now, and I think that is pretty tight. I think that's pretty neato. Hands is the next week's lesson. Yeah, exactly.
Who's your next week's lesson?
Hands is for the next stream.
Oh, puppy, I don't want you to lick me.
He says, but I want to lick you.
Do this very badly. Put too much lick him. This bad dog behavior, no.
He thinks it's good boy behavior.
Please stop.
His arm is looking a little bit crazy right now. Just a little bit crazy.
Wait, is it that right there?
That's what I was doing all afternoon.
You spent all afternoon getting a canvas?
Yes,
I didn't know that.
that's why I was gone for so long this afternoon. I was getting your canvas. Sitting right there. Silly Willy. You silly Willy. Says nothing. Nothing at all. We were doing nothing. Crazy.
How's that comfortable, Franklin?
It's my favorite.
No. Hey, no.
Need to like mask off. Just mask.
Hey, don't do that. No. Please don't mess up my beautiful sweater. It is my favorite sweater.
Says not mine. No, mine is not. Err.
If you're not gonna be a good snuggler, you're about to get kicked off the couch. This is for snuggling only. Chewing. Franklin, no. Hey, stop.
Oh.
What does that mean?
What does that mean? I can't see it. We got a new follower on Twitch. Let's go.
It's not hype enough.
Let's go. Jokito 606 followed on Twitch. Woo! Hype. Is that hype enough?
Yeah, that's okay.
Okay.
That's better.
Okay. Who I forget is the guy that keeps walking behind you holding a saxophone. Your uncle? Yes. Didn't see him for an hour, but he was just back. See the guy walking behind me holding a saxophone? Yeah. It's my Uncle Gary.
Who's Gary?
My uncle. Apparently. Apparently my Uncle Gary is here. Mask. How do I clear mask?
What?
Clear mask. There we go. What did you hear me say? That's right. You heard me say nothing. Nicole Abel is followed on YouTube. Let's go! Hype! Thank you, Nicole. Appreciate it. I'm really hopeful that my general audience will warm up to my sculpting streams because I really enjoy sculpting. And streaming sculpting is like the easiest thing ever because all I have to do is put up a little screen capture and stream's going. All I gotta do is sit here and do my thing. So if y'all are enjoying this, please let me know, and please like comment on the stream and share it if you want, because it's gonna let me know that you guys want me to keep doing this, because in the past, anytime I've done sculpting streams, they haven't really gotten a whole lot of interaction, so especially compared to the painting streams, but I sculpt a lot. So I've been an Instagram follower for a minute. Just learned that you had a YouTube channel right this moment. Nice. How did you find my YouTube channel? Did you see me post about it, or were you just scrolling through, or what? Because that is very interesting to me. Let's give him. This is where his leg will be. And we'll have to make some feet. Some feet and some hands. And make this look better. Saw the live on Instagram that came here. Nice. That means my little sign did the trick, huh? I love it. Look at my sign. Yep. TikTok disconnected. Lack of whatever.
So are you gonna tell me what the sign says or what?
It says full screen on Twitch and YouTube at Painted Dragon Studios, but I had to write it backwards so that the front facing camera could see it.
You know you could flip that, I'm sure.
There was a way. I couldn't figure out how to on TikTok. So I was like, well, I'll just write the sign backwards. It looks great on the screen. It's just kind of funny. The sign will be on his Etsy store soon. How can you make Yoda in Blender but can't flip a video? Yep. That's just how it be sometimes, you know? Sometimes you can make some really cool stuff, but not be able to flip a video. Someone beeping out there. It's kind of folding around him a little bit. It's pretty cool. No, but this is what I'm talking about with being able to do certain things and then not being able to do other things. I'm very sure that I could figure out how to flip the camera if it is possible. It's just how much effort you want to put into things. So I really want to get good at this. I really wasn't excited about flipping a camera. So, yeah, it's just priorities. sometimes you really, sometimes you really want to learn things, but you really don't want to figure it out. You want to put the time into things, but not do it. Oh my God. You want to put the time into it, but you don't want to actually put the time into it. Do or do not. There is no try. Only do. Very insightful. Alright, let's make a hand. And then we'll see if we can... Thanks, Exorcist Yoda. Very insightful. Do or do not. There is no try. That's it. I would have known what the quote was, but we decided to watch Phantom Menace last night instead of Empire Strikes Back.
And I'm glad we did.
I enjoyed it. I want to watch the rest, but the Revenge of the Sith is coming out in the theaters again at the end of April, and that would be so cool to go and finish off our Star Wars trilogy in the theater on the big screen, you know? Like, how cool would that be? I think that'd be amazing. Okay, there's his hand. Give her a render. It's beautiful. It's perfect. I have some stuff not hidden from the render view. Look how beautiful that is. It's exactly as it should be. And that's been the ongoing joke for far too long.
That wasn't awesome.
That's okay. You don't have to. Punch a tree, Yoda, with your Minecraft hand. Okay, let's give this a multi-resolution. Still cap lock on? Okay. Subdivide. Beep, 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 beep. Yeah, beep. And then go to sculpt. And this is hand. Okay. Now let's start shaping this into a hand. Hands are really hard to sculpt, but he's only got 3 fingers, so it can't be that hard. How hard can it be with only 3 digits? the nub when you first started was somehow worse and with no hands. Yeah. Yeah, you know. References. So we got kind of a thumb. He's got a thumb and then like 2 fingers. Thumb, 2 fingers. And then same with his feet. So I think we can just make one of these and we can duplicate it a bunch. He's got that thumb and then the 2 fingers. Yoda's hands in isolation are terrifying. I didn't know. Yeah. It's just a disembodied hand. Okay. I want to try that pose thing. Let's see what happens. Where's the pose tool? Pose. It's only gonna give us. Oh. Let's go from top down. Alright. Enough of that. Let's go back to our drag tool. Okay, so if this is his thumb, we need to have a lot more volume right here and a lot less volume up there. It's pretty much doing this thing, pretty much doing this. I don't know if this is the best way to do this or not, but it's the way I know how to do it right now, so it's what we're doing. probably be easier to do like how I did with the limbs and the body. For you to just like make a hand and then add the fingers individually. Because right now they're looking pretty wonky. Not much like a hand at all. You ready to go up?
Huh?
You ready to go upstairs?
Yes, I am. Come on, Franklin.
Alright. He is very Duck Yoda right now. He looks like a duck foot. Because I'm trying to give him 3 fingers and right now it just looks like a duck. Alright guys, that's gonna be it for me. Because it is bedtime for us. But I greatly appreciate y'all hanging out. Watching me sculpt, even though it's not my normal thing. Thank you so much for sharing the process. Thank you for appreciating the process. I'm probably not going to keep this hand. We're going to start over on the hands tomorrow. But this is where we're ending up tonight. And I think for 3 hours of progress... Oh, the hand is still there. Just floating to somebody. I think for 3 hours of progress, that is not too shabby. I think that is not too bad for 3 hours of sculpting. We will get back to it probably tomorrow. So be watching for a stream tomorrow.